so much for joining me today on smartbusiness.smartmoney.com. What's your definition of value? As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as someone who manages other people, how do you define value? To me, value is simply something that people are willing to pay for. As long as someone else is willing to pay for it, that's value. So the question is this: if as a business owner you were to define value, or you were to pay for whatever it is that you define as value, what would you be paying for? One of the things I've found between CEOs, effective and perhaps less effective CEOs, is in their definition of the concept of value. One category of CEOs define value purely from the perspective of activity. So when they talk to their personnel, they ask questions like, how many sales calls did you make today? Things like that. In other words, they see value, or they perceive that value has been added by a personnel within their organization when the person is busy doing something. In other words, they ask questions like, what have you been busy doing? All right? Now, more effective CEOs ask the question a little bit differently. What informs the activity that you have been busy doing? In other words, their focus is not necessarily on the activity, their focus is on the information that is driving the activity. So you find those CEOs, they pay more for information, they pay more for time, they do all those kinds of things. Why? Because their primary focus is whatever it is that is driving what you do. So to them, what you do is an end. What the means is, or what the things that defines the end, is a lot more important than whatever it is that you're doing. And that's something that's really very important for us to think about. How do you define value? What would you classify as value? What would you be willing to pay for as value in your organization, as a CEO, as a manager, as a supervisor, in one organization over another? That's something worth thinking about. How do you define value? Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Deja Wadi from smartbusiness.smartmoney.com, and I'll see you next time.